Welcome back. We have finally made it to our fourth and last cup of the Passover Seder. And if you've been sticking with us, I'm so happy you're here. This will be the last of our wine series for the wineries in Samaria. I'll also just mention now that if you're enjoying this podcast, please hit subscribe and obviously the bell button so that you can know every single time when a new episode comes out. Okay, guys, this episode, I'm so excited because the winery that I'm taking you to virtually is actually one of my favorites. I know I say that about a lot of places, but this is really true. Maybe because I love music and I'm personally a musician. You maybe, if you're a viewer and not just a listener, you can see my guitar just hanging out in the background. And this winery has some musical essence to it. We'll get into it soon. But I want to actually bring you to a moment in Tanach, okay? At the end of the book of Judges, probably one of the most complex books in the Tanakh, Shoftim, very intense. At the very end, there's one of the most harsh stories. It's actually a bunch of stories that are interconnected, but the people are essentially shattered. This is in Judges 21. They're shattered, and they're not shattered by some outward enemy and an evil force coming and totally destroying everyone. It's not that. It's actually this time an outcome of a civil war that totally tears them apart. One of the tribes of Israel is literally almost completely obliterated, the tribe of Benjamin. We talked a little bit about that a couple episodes ago. And the thing that really changes it is actually kind of a strange thing. It says, Veitzu bnot Shiloh lecholel b'kramim. And the daughters of Shiloh go out to dance in the vineyards. And why am I telling you this? Because when I sat down with our guest today, this story popped into my head. And I think it's very, very connected to our last cup. We're finally here. The last cup, velakachti, and I will take you to me to be a people. We've been through the first three cups. We have, and I took you out of Egypt. We leave the mindset of exile, of slavery. And Vetzarti, second cup, I will save you. That's that survival, that even when we leave and things get hard, we have this persistency, this survival. Third cup, Viga'arti, I will redeem you. Reconnecting to our roots, discovering who we are underneath all those layers. And finally, here we are, Velakachti, and I will take you. What does full redemption actually look like today? I mean, honestly, maybe there are many people, I know I am literally waiting for a full redemption. I'm waiting for the end of days when there's peace in the entire world. What does it look like? What does the end of the process look like? That's the question I want to ask while you are listening to this interview. And our interviewee is none other than AY Katsof from the Settler Winery. If you've heard of this winery, then you're probably really excited. If you haven't, you should get excited because I just want to say the first time I ever went into this winery, I was blown away by the vibe. Like the woodwork, the music, the people, the really unique food, and of course the wine. But there's just something different. So without further ado, AY. Okay, AY, I am thrilled that you were on our podcast. It's been a long time coming, and I can't do a wine series without your incredible winery. So thank you for being here. So when a person walks into the Settler's Cellar, which is the name of your winery, for the first time, there is a total vibe. It's very, very different, probably like nothing else you'll see in Israel. What were you going for? What do you want people to experience? Like what kind of an atmosphere do you want to create there?
So that's a very good question. The truth is, I don't know what I wanted or what I didn't want, but I could tell you what happens. First of all, you could tell there's certain levels of body language that you could tell without saying anything. So it's the jaw drop. When you see the person comes in and the jaw kind of goes,
Right.
and then their phone goes out and they start filming and they're like, did we just go into some like,
A
not
portal.
time machine, a portal? Yeah. And are we in Nashville, Tennessee? Because that is the vibe that you feel. You walk in, you see all the woodwork, the wood bar, the wood tables, the stage, the live music playing, the cowboy hats, all the cowboy hats, a lot of cowboy boots, the spars on the horses tied on outside. And it's really, you feel like you're in Nashville if there was to build a national Judea in Samaria, this is what it would be. This is what it would look like.
I just have to say, for anyone listening to this now or watching this, I know that you're already like, okay, how do I, tell me, where do I sign up? How do I get there? You have to actually come and see it, because everything that AY is saying.
If you won't speak, you just won't.
You missed it.
Can't imagine.
Yeah, so everything that AY is saying is so true. And I'm from Tennessee originally. And I remember the first time I walked into your winery and I was like, I felt like home. I felt like, oh my God, there's a stage, there's music, there's wine, there's people, there's wood. You're in the middle of nowhere. This is incredible. So you got the vibe. I don't know if you were going for that, but what you got is amazing. Do you remember, like, when did this, because this is a really, really unique spot. It's really cool. When was the exact moment that, like, this dream of maybe creating something really different came into fruition, came to reality, became real for you?
I can't say that there was an exact moment. I would say that it's after over many years, but I think there was one time when I went with the governor of Binyamin, Israel Gantz, and we went to visit the governor of Tennessee, Governor Lee, and I brought him a bottle of my Settler's wine. And afterwards, he's like, I gotta take you around the neighborhood. And we walked down Broadway, and I see these places, but it was the music, the live music, the people that connected. And the truth, I thought to myself two things. I thought, first of all, if I would have had this growing up, how my life would have been so much different, more spiritual, more connected. And second, I'm like, it's too late for me, but it's not too late for my kids. And I really built it for my children. And not just my children, my friends' children, my neighbors' children. And little did I know, for children, that people come from all around Israel to experience and connect with that live music.
Ah, that's awesome. See, it's all about Tennessee. I'm gonna revel in this a little bit.
I know.
So your place is open, but Thursday nights are the hit. Thursday nights, Saturday nights. When you stand there now today, for what it's become, and you look at these, everything's full of people, full of music. Everyone's eating and drinking, and what do you think to yourself when you see this happen every week?
Sometimes I sit there with my wife in the back, and we look at the place full, and we say, what is zchut? What a merit that we have. Did I say that? Did I translate it right to English?
Yeah. What a merit. How did we merit this?
Yeah, it really is. And I say, look at all the good. And I see, like, my friends' children, my kids, they're on stage and they're singing and they're playing and they're drinking, and it's a good vibe and it's a secure vibe and it's a healthy, warm, special connection that these kids are able to grow up with. And I just say, what a blessing that we're able to merit to be able to bring this in the world, be part of this.
I'm just going to, first of all, that is so beautiful. I'm also going to make a disclaimer. When he says kids, we are talking about people over the drinking age. He's not giving minors alcohol and not happening.
In Israel, the drinking law is 18.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you're over 18 but under 21, now's your time to head over to Israel and go to the Settler's Cellar. So your winery is in a really unique location. It's not one of those big names. It's in a place called Eish Kodesh. I'm sure most of our listeners do not know where that is. It's a small hilltop right outside of Shiloh. How did you get there, and why there?
Sometimes we say just like the stars aligned, You're meant to where you're meant to go. We say if you open up your wings, the wind will take you, but you have to open up your wings. And a lot of people are scared to do that. Somehow we were able to end up here on this little hilltop when there was nothing here. There's just a couple trailers on the top of the hilltop in 2010.
How many are here now? How many live there?
As of yesterday, I saw the list. There's 132 families.
Wow.
A bunch of other student people, and there's some kindergartens. And then we have new farms that are spreading around like mushrooms after the rain in the whole area. But when I came here, there was just a couple trailers, no homes.
Did you have electricity?
We had a very minimal electricity, meaning that as soon as the winter came around, it didn't work. So we had to heat up with fireplaces.
Wow.
Water also was on and off, like in the summer when we were watering the vineyards. So the houses did not have water.
It was like, I'm either watering my vineyards or we're drinking.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
When drinking, you have
bottled water, right? Showering.
Yeah. The problem is when you just clean something and you want to wash your hands and you can't wash your hands. That's like the problem. Forget about the shower, the luxury.
Oh my gosh. And now it's turned
Or
into
imagine
something
the
that's so
water
different.
turning off in the middle of the shower.
So tell us where you're from, where you grew up, and that journey of making it to this hilltop in the middle of the Samaria, in the middle of
I
Shomron.
grew up in Los Angeles, California, born and raised. And kind of always like part of us as the Jewish people was to return to the land. And I came by myself when I was about 17. I got married in 19, had my first child at 20.
Wow.
We have now 6 biological children and another girl that we brought in and lives by us. And, and we're raising our kids here on the hilltop in Binyamin.
Wow. And you have this, like, literally, you sit on the porch of your vineyard and you look out on these beautiful hills of Shiloh. Does the biblical backdrop play a role in, like, you're leading with like the Mishkan and Shiloh, Tanach? Like, does that come into your day-to-day life in any way?
So you could be in the States and read about the Bible. We live the Bible every single day. When we plant new vineyards, so we dig in the ground and we take out like piles and piles of pottery shards. And a lot of these date back to the time of Joshua's tabernacle that was right here. When we
Yes.
read about, Valentine's Day, the biblical Valentine's Day was the 15th day of Ab, it says the girls would dress in white and dance in the vineyards in Shiloh. That was right here. My daughters and their friends dance in the vineyards right behind my house, right behind me, right here, right in front of the winery.
Wow.
That's what goes on. And we continue living that today.
That's
When we planted
incredible.
our vineyards, it was 2010. 2010, we moved to 2011, we read Jeremiah 31, and it talks about the Jewish people returning to the land, planting the vineyards in the mountains of Samaria. And we are in the mountains of Samaria, 830 meters above sea level, on the high mountains. All the agronomes, they came and said the bedrock of these mountains are too tough. Grapes won't succeed. Plant olive trees. And we said, thank you for your advice. We're going to go with Jeremiah. And we took those vines, we've put them in the ground. And now those same agronomes come back and say, because of the tough bedrock, the roots of the trees have to dig really deep down looking for moisture.
Yeah.
And while it does that, it brings up all the nutritions from the bedrock and you taste it in the wine.
Yeah.
So you could read prophecy. We drink liquid prophecy.
I love that liquid prophecy. When you come in, that's what you see. It's like lots of amazing. It is. It's liquid prophecy. And honestly, I have to say, I was just by you guys last week. Oh my gosh. Like every time the wine it's out of this world. You also do really creative things with your wine. Like they're not just regular things. You have like cool stories, cool blends. And I think it's amazing, this whole idea of like you
Well,
get
I would
to,
say,
yeah.
so it's like, we came back to our land after about 2,000 years of exile, and we planted these trees, and we came back here not to copy other people's wine, not to copy other regions. We don't need to make French wines. You know what? French make amazing wines in France. We don't have to copy that. Let that stay over there. We came back to make Shomron wines, and we have to take our grapes that grow here in the bedrock and match the style and methods to the flavors that we get and not try to make somebody else's flavors. So one of the things also I was reading one day was in Joel. It talks about Veitfu ha'alim asis v'hagzoot telach chalav.
How do I translate that?
It's so many, because basically what the idea is the mountain will drip with vibrant young wine. Now, is that a good thing? You drink wine. Do you want to drink vibrant young, or do you want to drink aged?
Right. People are like, I had this one is 20 years. Like,
Right? Exactly. But I'm like, this is what Joel is saying, so he must be onto something. So we took the grapes and we harvested them very, very young. And we made super flavored, extra fruity wine. And at the beginning, I thought I was making rosé, but when I took it to the winemaker, he's like, this is not rosé. So I'm like, what is it? He's like, closest I would say is a patinette, which is a bubbly champagne naturally fermented in the bottle. But it's not either that, because that is usually very dry. This is fruity, super fruity. So we had to come up with a name. And now we just came up this week, the name. And what are we calling it? Assis. Because that's what we called it.
So beautiful. So it's literally liquid prophecy. It's Joel.
Literally.
It's Joel prophecy.
Put in, and they drink the wine. And the first word that they usually comes out is ashkara. Now,
Wow.
ashkara, Hebrew slang for, if you try to translate it,
Like,
like for
seriously?
real,
Like, seriously?
seriously,
Seriously,
crazy.
this?
What's
How did
going
you
on
do
here?
this?
All of those were in one word in a slang modern
Yeah.
Hebrew ashkara.
Ashkara.
Now, ashkara is also built from ish, fire, kara, coal. If you
Hot
change the stuff
fire.
in the quiz.
Nachon.
So it's not fire, which is what it is. No, cold fire.
Cold fire.
Because you drink it cold, you drink it chilled, but inside is warm, is like fire.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So the name is Assis, and then the different bottles, each one has a different name. One of them is Ashkar.
Ashkara. I want to actually give you more, because also Ashkara, if you take out the aleph, the first letter, and the last letter, the hey, you get shasal, which is like wine. Or
So there you go.
shechal. There you go. Ashkara.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Or
awesome.
which is like drunk, what makes
Yeah.
you drunk. That's good.
Yeah,
I didn't think of
shechal
that
is what you
before.
drink to get drunk.
So
So you have
we're in the
Ashkara.
process, because, if you like tour Italy, North Italy, you go to Canelli and they grow Canelli grapes. You go to Villa Polacene, they grow Villa Polacene. That's what they make. Amorolo, they grow and they make Amorolo.
Yeah.
Why, when you come to Judea and Samaria, you grow Cabernet Sauvignon? Doesn't sound too local, does it?
You do have a good cab, though, I have to just say.
We have an amazing cab. Well, we have that too. That's our base. But the idea is to come back here and to find local grapes, which we just actually took a local grape called Suriman, which was found right by the Sea of Galilee, an ancient grape, and we replanted it right here, 300 trees. And the way we replanted it is not in the modern way where you have long rows, but we planted it biblical style, which is gobblage. Each tree is its own tree with its own pole, and it's a full sun exposure.
Wow.
With the highest quality. It doesn't really make sense financially because on each
To walk
tree,
around it, it's much harder, yeah.
But I guess we're here for a much bigger calling.
Wow.
And that's why.
So you really, I want to just also plug, like, we have one of our episodes in the series, I interviewed Shivi Jory, who is the guy finding all these ancient biblical grapes. He's the one, Dr. Shivi Jory. He's the one who gives, did you receive your Suriman from him?
I consulted with him before I planted it, and he told me what to plant.
Incredible. Wow. Okay, you have a lot of hats. So you're a winemaker, and you're a dad, and you're an entrepreneur, and you're a pioneer, and you also, speak fluent Arabic and do really crazy things to help protect the people of Israel. Which one of these jobs feels the most authentic to you?
Wow, that's a good question. It's a tough question.
Yeah.
I'm going through like a psychological, I think it depends on the day. I don't think there's one. I think there's certain days that you wake up and you want to put that cowboy hat on, jump on the horse and ride through the vineyards. Sometimes you have your working hat during harvest season where every day is, punching. Sometimes it's bottling. Sometimes it's evening at the wine bar. And sometimes it's putting on my military helmet and going out and fighting for the people. I wouldn't say there's one single hat.
Yeah. They all are different parts of AY. How did you learn fluent Arabic? I have to go here for a second. You speak fluent Arabic, and you've done a lot to help the security of Israel. How did that begin, and how has it shaped the way that you understand the region that you live in?
So I can't talk about everything.
Whatever you can talk about is good.
First of all, I did my bachelor's degree in Middle Eastern Arabic, and then later on my master's degree in Tel Aviv University, also that. And I spent many years abroad in different countries that speak Arabic. And my service is also in Arabic. And I also felt like, let's if we go back into the personal level, I feel at the end of the day, living in a region that speaks Arabic, to really dive deep and understand and know what's going on, you have to speak the language and understand and live the culture.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not really here. And I think maybe that was always the drive and understanding. At the end of the day, we're here amongst other people. And the people here, they're humans and they have families and they raise children. And sadly, it is a lot of them raise children and educate them to hate us and kill us and murder us. And that's their biggest reward is how many Jews they're able to kill. And to really, if everybody wants a solution, the magic words, the solution, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds good. But to really understand it, you have to speak the language and understand and live the culture. And if you don't, you can't even start thinking of the solution.
I'm so curious what you think the solution is as someone who understands the culture and that speaks the language, because I don't speak the language, not fluently for sure.
To answer your question, the root of the drive of where it came from was actually from a humanitarian to understand the area and connect to the land and connect to the people.
Okay, so you're not going to give us a solution to the conflict right now.
Of course I will in another podcast. We're talking about
Fine.
But I will for sure. I will tell you for sure. If the people around us would be drinking a lot more wine, things would be a lot more.
That's it. The solution. Everyone needs to be drinking Settler wine.
Yep.
Our cousins, the Arabs, do too, and then we'll just have peace. I could go for that.
For you, I would even be willing to compromise with Shiloh wine.
Okay, any wine. It's a compromise. Wow. Okay, so I want to talk about the name of your winery. You called it Settler's Cellar. That's a bold statement right there. Tell us about that decision.
So it was actually like very simple. Like if you depoliticize your thoughts and you go back to the simple, regular thinking, Joshua crossed the river, the Jordan River, and he came to the land and he settled in Shiloh.
Yeah.
And all the tribes came here to Shiloh and he sent them to all the parts of Israel and he told them to settle the land. A settlement is a good thing. If you're in the States watching this podcast and you open up your Google Maps and you write settlers, you know how many places, how many lodges, hotels, different places that are called settlers? And over there is a positive thing. So why only here in Israel, where the settlement, the whole idea of settlers came from Joshua here, how could it turn to negative? So the same way how in our wines, we go back to the original and we try to create it, also the name is back to the original. And we try to stay away from politics. We're not politicians. We're people, we're humanitarians, and we're practicals.
Amazing. It really does have that vibe. It's a very open vibe. Like I feel like anyone could walk into your winery and feel right at home.
Yep, we have many different types of people. We have ministers. We actually just have the Minister of Finance 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Came Saturday, sat for a couple of hours. And one of the interesting things that I was sitting with him in the wine bar and the place is full. There wasn't even room to stand. And he looks right and he looks left. He's like, this is so amazing. I'm sitting here in this wine bar. This is the Minister of Finance of Israel. Okay. And he's also the Deputy Minister of Defense.
Wow.
He has 2 hats. And he's like, all these youngsters, and he's looking around and people, 18, 19, 20, 21, he's like, they're all drinking wine. Usually you go around, you go to town and you see people drinking beer. You see people doing shots of tequila, vodka, Red Bull shots, goes here. And here, nope, only wine. He's like, this is so amazing. I'm like, yeah, we came back to Judea and Samaria.
It's so pure.
All the blessings in the Bible are blessings of wine. The mountains will drip of wine. And that Joseph's blessing is wine.
Yeah.
And that is what the youngsters here of Judea and Samaria, they go out and they drink wine.
Wow. It's very purist. Very purist. It's not like, it's like coming back to our.
And even this week, I had a bunch of congressmen from the United States. They came here to visit. And in May, we have a special partner. I'm not going to say which state he's from.
Just tell me what day and I'll just randomly make my way over to that. I'll just hang out at the bar.
You might be very connected to that state.
Ooh. Okay, just give me a date. No worries. Anyway, I'm just going to hang out at the winery.
We can make a deal. If you go on stage and sing and play guitar like you did that time when you were here, you're invited.
Okay, deal. I'll just hang out on the stage and be the background music. Okay, so this place actually isn't just about wine. It's like, it really is about gathering. I really see that even when you come and it's not a Thursday night, there's something that just pulls people. Why was that so important? Like to you, for it to be a social place, a musical, a food place, like centered, not just a tasting room.
It's not at all just about wine. Of course, it's everything. And that's what wine is. Wine is pulling people together. And I would say just like, the word yain, you can't spell the word yain and you can't spell the word l'chaim without 2 y's.
That's nice.
I don't know how to translate that in English, but basically the letter You need at least two people. Not just that, there's a special blessing you say on wine, on a second glass of wine, that it's called a tova metiv, which basically we're thanking God for doing good to me and doing good to
Good to
others.
others. Yeah.
And you can only say that blessing with at least two people. You can't say it by drinking alone.
Wow.
So that's the idea of wine. It binds people, they come together, it loosens them, it opens them up, it helps see the good and the better in the other person.
I love
And
it.
that's what it's all about.
I love it. Okay, now I have to appeal to some of our audience who are like, okay, Franny, you've been doing about wine. We don't drink wine. Guess what? AY makes the best cheeseburgers. Like that, the best kosher cheeseburgers that I've ever had. How did that idea happen? Like, it's not like he has a whole menu and you can choose. If you come, you get a cheeseburger and fries and all these cool, like, kosher bacon. Like, it's wild. What tell us how that developed.
So the truth is that also happened by mistake. Maybe all good things happen by mistake, you know? I just wanted it to be wine. The people come and say, listen, we're hungry, we need food. And I said, but I'm not a restaurant. And you know, there's like a saying in business, what you know best, do best. What you don't know best, don't do it all.
Pass it on.
But people kept on pushing on to food. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make one dish. But this one dish, I'm going to make it the best of the best of the best. So I found a special place where we get meat that naturally, cows that naturally eat.
Like they're wild. They graze. They're not.
They graze in
They're
the
free
Ramat
range. Free
range grazing cows in the Golan Heights. And we get the meat from there. We grind it. We make the burgers. And then we get some very high-end non-dairy cheese because we're kosher. And then we get a very thin slices of entrecote, which we fry in sheep fat, which is like our bacon. And we have the fresh tomatoes, onions, saute onions in a special recipe with the cheese and the bacon. And we found the perfect bakery that makes us the very big, fluffy, warm
buns. And you toast them sometimes. They're so good.
Oh, we cook them. And we even have like this metal rod that we brand Settlers on the bun. And then we have the half-sour American pickle on the side. We take the corn on the cob. We dip it in barbecue wine sauce, and we make corn ribs. We usually fry a little bit of pepper and red pepper and zucchini on the side. And that's one burger, and that's the best burger. And we pair it with the wine.
It's the best. Honestly, if your mouth isn't watering now, I would ask if you're human, unless you're a vegan, and then I'm so sorry for that whole last 10 minutes. But even if you aren't drinking wine, I'm just gonna be a pull. This is a spot to see. You come, you have a cheeseburger. You look out on your like deck outside. You have these beautiful vineyards, beautiful views, and you also made these chalets that you can stay at, like Zimmers that are so beautiful. It's like not only come, but if you don't want to drink and drive, just stay over for the night.
Yeah, it's the winery and lodge, and maybe that's our business plan. They come and they drink. We can make them put their car keys in the jar. And if they can't walk in a straight line, then the night they have to rent out a room.
Yes. So I want to ask a question. You have a lot of people coming in and out, and hopefully there'll just be many, many more. Tell us, give me some like juicy stories. You're standing in the back of your ride, like hearing things, see things happen. Like, tell us something that happens in this winery, or like maybe a story or two that like blows your mind.
We have many juicy stories. I would say the first one for me is the most special. It was the first night we opened, and I put on the invitation, open mic live music. My oldest daughter, who was running the place at the time, she's 19, and she's like, Dad, open mic? We live in the middle of nowhere.
You really do.
And I'm surrounded by vineyards. Who is going to come play music? And I said, listen, our job, just like Elijah told Ahaziah's wife, and he told her like this, you prepare vessels and don't be stingy about it. Make as many vessels possible, because the more vessels you make, the more oil
you're gonna have. Yeah.
And our job in this world is to prepare vessels. God's job is to fill them. That's up to God. Like,
I have chills.
I put out speakers. I brought instruments. If people come. Now, the first night was tough. My sister came. My niece came. 3 of my neighbors came, but the place was pretty empty. But, it's the first night. And all of a sudden, 3 soldiers walk into the bar. And they still have on their clothes like the dust of Gaza.
Wow.
One of them had a guitar on his back. And he went up on stage and he played music and sang. And the way he played, the way he sang, he was healing and healing and healing. And I said, is it worth it just for this, for soldiers to be able to come and sit on stage and heal?
Wow.
Because especially since the war, we've had a lot of soldiers that need a lot of healing.
Yeah.
And he's sitting on stage and he's playing music and he plays all night long. And in the morning, he starts speaking to my daughter. 4 months ago, they got married.
Ah. Wow.
So
Mazel tov.
yeah, the whole place just for this one story.
Wow. Wow. And then you think about all of Bezrat Hashem, all the children that will come for them, the children's children, they should all have healthy, happy, beautiful things come
So we
from
have
your
already
household. Like, wow.
many couples already have met in the wine bar.
Okay.
And,
all the more reason
just
to come.
Yeah, yesterday about how special it is. About, you have a lot of people that live around here and they're that age. And in this area, people get married very young. So it's a great place for boys and girls to meet and start building their own families.
Wow, that's a huge deal. You're literally making shidduchs, as we say in Hebrew, matchmaking. So also for our single listeners, this is another thing to put on your list of why you have to come to this spot. You can tell that I'm a little biased. I actually very much love this winery. It's one of my favorites. I have
One of your favorites. No, it's your favorite, but you just can't say it out loud. Yeah, this stuff.
I didn't say anything.
You can see with the guitar in the back over there.
Listen, music is my thing when I'm not, tour guiding and drinking wine at other wineries. So
and doing podcasts.
And doing a podcast, yeah.
You could actually drink wine and play music.
I know. It's a big pull. And eat cheeseburgers.
And
maybe find your husband or wife. Like literally, you have a lot going for you over here, AY.
Fine.
Okay. I want to ask one more question before we get to our rapid fire. If you could see like the future 50 years from now, or like the future of this winery, what's your hope that people will say about it, that people will think about it? What's your hope that will come of it?
That's a good question. The truth is like this. Lately, there hasn't even been enough room for people to stand. Forget about chairs. There's not enough chairs, but even standing, there's not enough room.
Wow.
And some people already have came up to me and said, let's start opening up franchises. So there is an idea. I don't know. I definitely don't have the strength. Maybe my kids. But the same idea and copy paste in other places in the area and other places in Israel where people could come, play live music, drink only wine, not beer, and connect. Maybe that would be a good thing.
I don't know. I don't know if you could ever replicate this, but you know what? If you could, it would be a really good idea. Definitely.
It obviously won't be as good as the original.
Yeah, the OG. The sequels are never as good as the original.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wanna go to rapid fire. I have so many things that I could ask you, but I know that you have so much to do, and I know that it means a lot. It means a lot, even just the minutes that I have with you. So let's go into rapid fire. We'll try to answer them as quick as possible.
Right.
And see what comes up. Are you ready?
I'm born ready.
Yeah. Okay. Red or white?
Definitely white. Unlike, let's say, Italy, France, Spain, you come to kosher wine stores in Israel, I would say 99% of the quality wine is red.
Yeah,
a lot of times even at the wine bar, when people come and say, oh, give me a glass of wine, I say red or white, and they look at me, they go, of course red. I was like, why of course? I'm like, you know what? Taste this. Just taste and tell me what you think. And they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oscar. I'll take something of this. White wine can be very high end, very high quality, very full body. Just because what people are used to today doesn't make it anything less. And you could have some amazing, full body, extra fruity, complex white wines.
You have some of those for sure. Okay. Cabernet or blend?
Definitely blend. Why stick with one? You get more flavors.
I hear you. Acoustic set like guitar and singer or full band?
Totally acoustic.
Really?
It's a lot real, a lot more connected.
Okay. Thursday night crowd or Saturday night crowd?
Two totally different vibes.
Which one do you prefer?
I would always go Thursday night because I don't have to work Sunday. But or because I have to work Sunday in Israel. So Thursday night, don't have Friday. But Thursday night is a very special, unique more.
What's the difference? And now,
Um, I would say Thursday night is a little bit more slingy, party, dancey, and Saturday night is more like, okay, we're starting our week. Because
oh,
remember in
people are
Israel,
they're already like, oh man, the
yeah,
weekend's
yeah.
over. In Israel,
In
we don't
Israel,
have
it's really,
Sundays.
yeah.
Yeah, it's something we're working on. I hope. I hope someone's working on it somewhere to give us some Sundays. That would be awesome.
We're working on it. Been worked on for a long time.
Okay, now this is something not connected to wine. I'm just curious about you. If you had to choose between Arabic coffee or craft beer,
Never beer, no beer.
no beer. Okay, Arabic coffee it is.
Never coffee.
The first bottle you were truly proud of.
Queen Jane.
I have to taste that. I don't think I've tasted
Yes,
that.
you do. Came out
Okay,
of left
next time.
field. I did not know what hit me, and every person that drank it was just like, Ashkara, is this real? Is this really
I have
wine?
to, that's what
What
I'm
did you
doing next
really
time.
get?
Please remember that. We're going to work on that for next time I
All
come.
right. You're like,
Um,
what's your secret? Every time, what's your secret? And I'm in Israel. I'm like, if I tell you to kill you.
yeah,
So,
you can't tell. If the secret is what makes it. One Hebrew word that defines this place.
wow. Ashkara.
Ashkara. I like that.
Dope.
One Arabic word that you love.
I think in Arabic, there's a lot of pretty words. If I had to choose one, I would say Hewa, which in a way means sweet, but they use it for pretty, and they also just use it for cool and okay. It's like this one word that can be used for a lot of things. Hewa.
Hilwa. What would that be like parallel in Hebrew?
It's kind of like sweet, literally,
Like
but it can be
sweet.
used. It can be pretty, beautiful, sweet, cool, nice, okay.
Cool.
A lot of different things in one word.
The most misunderstood thing about settlers.
I would say that that people miss out that one of the big drives of settlers is actually just the humanitarian side and the quality of life and building a bit better, brighter, and healthier future for our children. And I think that's the main drive behind the settler.
Yafeh. A song that captures your life right now.
You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them.
And of course, if you had to sit on a bottle of wine, a glass of wine with any figure from the Tanach, who would it be?
I would say definitely Devorah, the prophetess.
I love that you said that. No one has said her yet, and she is awesome.
Totally.
Why?
In Strippenval, she lived right here.
Ah,
Yep. She was a judge. She is an out-of-the-box thinker. She went against the flow, neged.
yeah.
And I connect a lot to her. And she used to sit under a tomer, which is a date tree. So maybe she was drinking date wine.
Ooh. Do you have any
But
girls named Dvorah? No, I have to ask that.
I have none, but I have a first cousin who's like my sister.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
Devorah, and she reminds me a lot of Devorah the prophetess.
Wow. And the last thing that I'm going to ask you, if someone leaves here with one feeling, what would you want it to be?
That they need to come and see for themselves.
Ah, you do. Okay, AY, it has been such a pleasure. I have all these things that have just come now. I feel like I have to come to the winery. I
By
have
the way,
some good wines.
wine, one of the things that you test when you do wine tasting, right? There's the flavor, there's the acidic, there's the fruitiness, there's the balance. But for me, the most important thing in wine tasting is that feeling where it kind of sits with you and the flavor stays and you want more. That addictive, natural feeling that you want more of it, you want more of it. So you ask, what is that one feeling from this podcast that I want to stay? First of all, if you're thinking about it, if you remember it, and you want more of it, then that's a sign of good quality wine and a good quality podcast. So let's hope that people want more of it.
Yes.
When we come back and they want to drink more.
Yes. Honestly, all of our listeners, when you call up Judea Samaria Experience and say, hook me up with a really cool people to go and see, just remember this episode and go hang out with AY. You won't regret it. That's for sure. AY, you should have all the blessings in the world. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you soon. I hope that interview made you want to like book a plane ticket to Israel and just drive straight to the Settler Winery, whether it's for the cheeseburgers or the views or the incredible guest houses or the music, the people, or just to see if it actually looks like Tennessee in the middle of a hilltop of Samaria. And honestly, it's worth it. Definitely do it. Don't take my word for it. Come see for yourself. So We're on our fourth cup, and I asked a question before this interview. What does full redemption look like? What's the end stage? What's the end goal? What is this fourth stage? And I think that this stage is about becoming a people, learning how to live together, to connect. If I think about the words, the parallel of from the passage in Exodus, it says, "Velakachti etchem li la'am." I will take you to be my people. It's not about leaving Egypt. It's not even about coming into the land. That's going to be a different part, and it's going to happen in the land. But really, it's about that unity, what we call in Hebrew, achadut, oneness, coming together, learning how to connect, learning how to live with each other, creating shared experiences, something that really does take time. And honestly, it takes a heck of a long time for us to do that when you read through the Tanach itself. Like, we come into the land, we conquer the land, and then you have the whole book of Judges where we're kind of just like unified, not unified, yes, unified, fighting this guy, fighting that guy. In the end, it gets really bad, like we were talking about before. And then in comes a vineyard. In comes a vineyard right next to where AY's vineyard is, actually, right next to Shiloh. And it's interesting because in the Talmud, there's a saying in Hebrew, Nichnas yain yatsa sod. Wine goes in and a secret comes out. Now, that's like the most basic level is when you drink wine, you get drunk and maybe you say things you don't want to say. But maybe there's a different parallel that like the wine brings out something deeper that's hidden. And maybe here in the Tanakh, this is that parallel. When you see these vineyards, it's actually showing you a deeper level. And so it's just not happenstance that after one of the most devastating civil wars in our history, in the end of Judges, we have this vineyard that brings people back together. And what does it do? What's that deeper thing that it actually does? When the girls go out and they dance in Shiloh, it brings that connection, marriage, love, coming together, even though our tribes kind of look different, even though we didn't get along a second ago. We're not going to excommunicate you. We're not going to destroy one piece of our nation, because real unity is being able to experience things together, share love, accept, and connect. And that happens through wine. And it's interesting because all throughout Tanakh, really like these prophecies of end of days, they really do include a lot of vineyards and also a lot of joy, joyous connections. All throughout the book of Judges, that sentence that we talked about, En melech b'Yisrael, isha yishal ben aviyaseh. There's no king in Israel. Every man does what they want. This disconnective. And really from this vineyard situation on, where they start reconnecting, seeing each other, eventually the end of the book of Judges will lead us into Samuel, where the first king will be anointed, and then the second king, and that whole unity comes about. So when I think of these girls dancing in the fields of Shiloh, creating the beginning of us coming together, we have the book of Judges where we're kind of separate, but finally the book of Samuel, Shmuel, that's when we're really going to start coming together as a nation. That's really when the end of this redemption that we left Egypt hundreds of years before, it really kind of comes to a full. It's going to end with the building of the temple and the unity of the world. But really, that's the process. And I can't not think of the parallel with AY's winery. The music, the connection, the wine, the fact that it's literally in the vineyards of Shiloh. Well, he planted them right next to Shiloh. It's a place where people sit together. And when people sit together and they come together and they connect and music fills the air. And there's this love. Again and again, he tells me all about like people who meet each other there. Literally, actual couples. Kind of like the vineyards of Shiloh, thousands of years before. And I remember standing there and I think, this isn't just like an ideal or an idea, but it's happening. This is what redemption looks like. Families being born, people of all different faiths, backgrounds, sizes, shapes coming together through music, through joy, through wine. This is described in the most simplest of terms by the prophet Amos. In the end of the prophet Amos, chapter 9, he ends pretty clearly with what redemption fully looks like. And what does he say in passage 14? V'shavti et shvut ami. I will bring back the exile of my nation, Israel. Uvanu arim. They will rebuild ruined cities. Ve'yeshvu, and they will settle. Ve'natu kramim v'shatu et yainam, and they will plant vineyards and drink their wine. That's it. That's it. We have to rebuild. We have to come, right? But it's about planting vineyards and drinking wine together, coming together in the most simplest form. Another beautiful prophecy that I absolutely love is by Zechariah, where he writes in chapter Chet 8, passage 4. This is one of my favorites. Also, people coming together. Ko amar Adonai Tzvaot, so says Lord of Hosts, Od yishevu zkenim uzkenot berchovot Yerushalayim, ve'ish mishanto biyado mirov yamim. Once again, old men and old women will sit in the squares of Jerusalem In old age, a man will lean on his staff in his hand, and the city squares will be full and alive with young boys and girls playing in her open squares. You have the old people, the young people, the playing, the laughter. You can imagine the music. That's redemption. It's not just survival. It's not just returning from the exiles. It's not just leaving the ideologies. It's coming together through joy. It's learning to live together. It's learning to accept each other. It's learning to embrace the beautiful colors of our nation. And AY Spot does this. It just does. You have to come on a Thursday night or a Saturday night and you just see it. It's wonderful. And I guess that brings us back to the 4 cups. Vehotzeti, I took you out. Leaving. Vehetzalti, I saved you. Surviving. And remembering to persevere. Vega'alti, I redeemed you. Becoming who you are in its depths. Velakachti, and I will take you. Connecting, coming together. Belonging. But actually, there's one more cup that we have at the Seder on Passover. It's the 5th cup, if you will. The cup of Eliyahu Navi, Elijah the prophet. It's one that we don't drink. It just kind of sits on the table. It's the one that actually represents the fullness of the redemption. And it's parallel to another passage. Veheveti etchem el haaretz. And I will bring you, I brought you to the land. Now, I'm not doing another winery for this cup. Also, we don't drink this cup. So maybe it would be like not okay to do another winery, even though there are so many other wineries. And honestly, all the wineries that we did are just in Samaria. We could do a whole another series about Judea. We're going to take a little bit of a break from wineries from now. But what about this 5th cup? I will bring you to the land. So I kind of think that's what we're doing on this podcast. I am trying my best to bring you to the land. That 5th cup is one that we don't drink because it's still not finished yet. But maybe it's happening now. Maybe we're part of it. I mean, we're back in the land. We're planting vineyards. We're drinking our wine. We're coming together. We're playing music. There's joy. We're building our cities. We're once again a nation. This stage, I actually think, is not a passive one. We're not supposed to just sit with our feet up and wait for God to just bring us to the land. We have to do it. And every person that comes to this land, every person who builds, every person who connects, every person who just listens to a podcast and feels like they're sitting in the land, supporting us here from all over the world, you're part of it. Veheveti. It's not just being brought, but we are bringing the reality together. And I think that is what this series has been about. Not just talking about redemption, but trying to live it, trying to make it personal for each and every one of us, and trying to see how it's unfolding before our eyes. May we see a full and speedy redemption for our entire world. And I hope that you've enjoyed this series. Next week, back to regular stuff with another amazing spot. If this episode helped you better appreciate Judea and Samaria, you can take it to the next level with the Judea and Samaria experience. They can help you plan meaningful visits to this region, off the beaten sites, tour guides, connect you to local personalities. And guess what? This referral service is completely free thanks to our generous sponsors, Texans for a Safe Israel. Check them out at their website, JudeaSamariaExperience.com. That's Judea without an H, SamariaExperience.com. You won't regret it.